PG looks interesting. Let's see what's up with J&J. So J&J, we want to see a break below 155 today. The only thing I don't like about J&J is we've been shopping here for so long that it's not really a clean break. SPY, for example, actually not even, that's fine. Matter of fact, SPY is actually triggering already. We're below that 5630 level we discussed a few minutes ago. So let's see if they manage to deliver. So we were looking at this 5630 for potential sales below. We broke below that level. Again, we're targeting the previous daily low into the right here. So we've tested that level a few times right here. If we do manage to break below this, you're going to come down into the previous weekly lows potentially. You have a clean wick to target. And then if we do manage to break below those lows, again, we go for the April targets, the April low targets. So let's see what we get, but pretty clean sales here on SPX if we get the breakdowns. And then we still have this open gap. I hadn't noticed. We never finished closing this. So that's quite a bit of downside. Bitcoin's also trying to trigger down below previous day high. Damn. MSTR off the rip at open. I'm telling you, bro, these sells. Yeah, why? What's it doing? Don't scare me, bro. Don't tell me I should like at 176 right now. I'm okay with this. So we are a tiny bit higher, but we're still right into that 2618, currently below it. Like I said, as long as we're below 2618, I'm gonna take my odds. If we start pushing above it, closing above it, then I'll probably take it off because we'll go to 3618. But below here, I'm cool with it. One thing I don't like is we're above previous day high, so we need to lose that immediately at open. That's one thing I was mentioning. I want to see most names come below previous day lows to be short, to be high, to be long. Actually, fuck that. I'm not even gonna say to be long. Don't be long, bro. If y'all want to do it, go ahead. But I personally do not condone being long into FOMC here. Can you get that last squeeze we've been talking about for maybe $10 on SPY? Sure, but the path, in my opinion, is saying lower, and you, for the most part, you know, completed that move. Like I said, this was gonna be a potential sell zone. Can we go higher? Sure, but these targets are a little harder to hit. So I think the sells can work from here. Would I take the buys for these final targets? Probably not. If they come and I miss it, whatever. But below these levels, wait, why does that not look? That's not right. We're still below previous daily lows. I'm not sure. Sorry, above. I'm not sure why SPY shows up like we're below. That's weird. But yeah, I like the sells myself. And then I haven't even looked at it today. Dud. If anything, in my opinion, we're gonna come target this wick. Finish this and then lose these lows, and we have this scenario all over again. Back to the base. So if they break the lows today, we're gonna complete the path we had originally tried to do down here before we got that small breakout. So let's see what's up. But I'm telling you, I prefer the sells myself. Even AVGO looks clean if we stay under. Oh, literally coming right under it right now. So if we stay under the 786 201.31, which you guys have had these levels for a minute, like I have not changed one level on here. The 786 has been true. This is the area we broke down from on the left side. We're currently retesting that area. So if they don't manage to hold above and break back below these levels, you have really clean sell side right here. But that's definitely one name I'm going to be watching. And all of semis have gaps to the downside. So we have some gaps here, a couple gaps lower. NVIDIA has a few gaps here. AMD not that bad. But yeah, most semis did leave gaps, and then TSM looked super bearish yesterday. Uh, this is the first name that has actually kind of rolled over, and I think if we break the lows from yesterday, we have again open gaps to the downside. A lot of names have open gaps, even gold. I know some of you guys came in late. We covered gold. It faded right off. Let me show the drawings. It faded right into that top zone we had discussed, and now we're trading back below down here. So if we complete this breakdown, then it's going to be pretty clean. I got pretty paid out on God, not gonna lie, but not options. I was trading forex, but it was a pretty clean sell. What time is it? 15 minutes. And then take it slow. I mentioned it earlier. If you plan on trading, I don't know, whatever amount of capital today, spread it out. So you can take one trade. Excuse me. You can take one trade right here, right at the open if you'd like. But maybe leave a little bit of capital to take a trade later on into Powell. Like I said, if puts get crushed into like throughout the day, because we just chop or whatever into FOMC, I'll probably load some 0DT puts on SPY or SPX. I'm not taking 0DT here, only if frames are down into FOMC, but I don't want to really force the 0DTs into the open right here.
What time is FOMC?
11 and then 11:30. You know how he does the release and then the statement. So you already know you're gonna get one move at 11, then you get another move at 11:30. So also keep in mind, or you already know FOMC days.
Yeah, I gotta put in my pre-orders.
Yes, sir.
I won't be there to man. But
What are you're on? Oh yeah, you're on TOS. You're chilling. You could do conditionals, fam.
yeah, I've been doing conditionals now.
Yeah, because that way, like, the only thing I don't like is you could say, all right, sell when, I don't know, Apple gets to 200, for example. But you know how you could do two conditionals on the order, like sell once it hits certain price, and if it's above certain premium, like, so you make sure you don't get like lowballed on your fills. The only thing I don't like, go
I
ahead.
just put it in as like minus the asking price. I just go like $10 below the asking price
On conditional?
on conditional. So once it hits, whatever the asking price is, it'll trigger that minus 10 points on that.
So you give it like a spread to play with. But you're selling,
Yeah.
but you're kind of selling at market because you put whatever the ask is, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like market minus.
That makes sense, but that makes sense and that's fine because at the end of the day, you know, whatever the price is currently trading at, it's the price.
Like the price is already at that point.
Like hitting targets, I feel it. Because what I like to do is you could put, all right, sell when it hits this level at specific price or higher. But what I don't like is I like it because it'll make sure to fill you at those prices you want or higher. But what I don't like is that sometimes it'll hit the level you want, but premiums got chopped. So they're not trading premium over what you're asking in your conditional. So you'll come back to like review your trades and you're like, oh shit, cool, we hit TP, like we hit the level, but your orders never got filled because you put the orders too high. So it doesn't happen too often. Usually like the premiums and the levels line up, but it has happened to me before where I put my prices too high, bro. But you could do that too, but that's cool what you're doing. Ask with the spread, that's cool. MSTR is coming down a bit here. So again, below previous D highs. I kind of like this for sales. Well, not kind of, I like it. Just not sure what the premiums are going to look like. Let's see, we got 10 minutes. Let me fix my screens up. Bruh. PM coming down a bit. Great. Wait, what? Oh, we're starting to come down. No, not PM. Which one was the one that was coming into levels?
AVGO?
Yeah, I'm gonna check that one again. PM I like. I mean, Shit, not that I like it. I do like it, but not gonna lie, I got a little bit of size on this one, so I'm like, come on, bro, you better move. AVGO. Literally at that 201. So let's see what's up. But again, if we stay above this, you want to be super careful. They're literally opening right at that level. So I don't know if they're gonna finish this path off. I hope not. I prefer the sells, but like I said, be ready for anything. And then SPY, for example, I said we can target those downside liquidity wicks we left, but keep in mind, nothing guarantees us they won't squeeze higher before delivering those wicks. That's definitely possible. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Mentioning maybe this, right? Doesn't mean we cannot break above here, finish maybe targets we discussed, and then come fill those downside targets. So not sure how high we extend. These are some levels on SPX. These are on SPY. I'm not telling you guys we go all the way up to 587 or 575, whatever, but just keep in mind that it is possible. So don't go all in on sales here and then, you know, tomorrow or next week we're trading up here and you guys are like, ah, shit, I don't have any capital added in my shorts. So just be prepared for that. But I do think the sales look the cleanest they've looked here specifically. SPY looks clean. Many of the individual stocks look clean. PM might give us a breakdown. Walmart coming down a bit. MSTR coming down. So a lot of names look prime here for sales, including Bitcoin, gold, etc.
Ooh, look at gold.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you. Not gonna lie, the only one I'm butthurt about is this Lil John right here. Bro, I started this yesterday. I'm down a little bit, but I'm gonna hold.
It'll get there.
We'll see what's up, bro. I'm targeting why don't I have drawings on GJ? I know I do. What happened? Am I on the wrong one? Oh, there we go. I was like, where are my drawings? Yeah, so essentially I still want to see this breakdown on GJ. We'll see what's up. But if we start getting above maybe like 192, I'll probably take them off. But yeah, bro, everything's paying me. Bitcoin paid me, gold paid me, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna be green as fuck. And then I'm like, what? And this little shorty right here, drawdown. But we'll see what's up. It's cool. I still like it at the downside. We'll see what we get today. Look at SPY, clean. The only thing I don't like here is if we would have opened the day up here, like let's say we opened the market 6:30, literally here. That's beautiful because you could have entered on these sells. What I don't like here is that, that we're gonna open. Yep, we're gonna open mid-range. You're currently coming near lows that we can bounce off before coming lower. So just be mindful if you are gonna try to short right into the open. You know, we're already down a little bit, so just be mindful. Why does the time look like this? Damn. Yeah, see, pretty clean bounces here on SPY. Let's see if they manage to get back above 56.30. But for now, just be careful if you do plan on shorting at the open. You're shorting, you know, a couple points lower than where we were. Under 56.30, like I said, I think the sales are going to be clean. If they start pushing back above 56.30, be careful being short. Look at gold. Yes, sir. I think up. All right, let's see. Let's fix my charts. I'm gonna be trading GOD. Put PM up here. Wait, is this the wrong layout? Yeah. You guys want to see mega caps today, or you guys want to focus the rotation names we've been tracking?
Probably what we've been tracking.
Oh, let's see meta. All right, so PM. I'm gonna put the names that I think majority of people are in. I think some people are in Apple, Microsoft. Ooh, clean move on Microsoft. What the hell? I hadn't even looked at Microsoft. If we get under 431 today, that's gonna be pretty clean on Microsoft.
Damn.
Uh,
I let that shit go yesterday.
yeah, nah, fuck it.
No, don't be sick. I try to go for AMD
Look,
earnings.
bro, this shit's like a pretty clean flag. If they break down, cool. But if they go for the upside, ugly. I hope not,
No,
but we'll
I'm
see.
gonna just switch my AMD to the Microsoft if anything.
You're gonna hop back. Fuck him, bro. This would just.
I just wanted to see if it would hit for earnings, but
You're like that shit did not hit. Nah,
it
fuck
did not
it.
hit. Fuck it, we gonna hop back on.
Let's see. Okay, my bad. I got distracted by Microsoft. All right, so that's cool. That one might hit. EFA, let's check. Oh, what? Gap down on EFA. Yes, sir. Well, not really, barely, but the 86s are going to be in the money if you took those. And any lower, you're going to start getting paid out. Berkshire, I don't know if anyone plans on trading it. I don't know when you guys came in, but I mentioned Berkshire looks identical to LLY. So I'll show you guys LLY first so you can see what I'm talking about. We had EAR top, gap down on ER, a couple days of, so come down, bit of a bounce, stagflation, then boom, next leg lower. Berkshire, same setup, gap down, came up into the levels we discussed. Currently from here, you can see the next leg down. 500 is what you would target on the sales. And if you manage to break below this 500 psychological level, that's when you can get the clean downside of 460s. I think that one has a lot of potential. If you look at it on the daily, like I said, it looks fairly similar to LLY. So I'd say 500 is probably a given if you get the breakdown from here. And then under 500, this would be the nice payout on that. Netflix, I need to have up today.
Yeah, that's my plan today. I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit.
The only thing watch out with Pilo is this wick high we left.
Oh shit, didn't even notice that.
So if we do come up, like I said, I like the sells, but maybe leave room to take. Let's say you take a put right here, wherever, and then we go way up here, which I really don't want to see. But let's say we go up to here into FOMC. If you can take these sells or sells on anything into the highs, or when put premiums are way lower into FOMC, I think that might be a clean trade. But regardless, right off the rip, if we break below levels, that can work too. But just look, a lot of names that I meant with the levels we mentioned pre-market, it looks like they're trying to come back up. So as long as they stay below levels and continue down, the sells are going to be clean. If I had to guess, SPX is probably back above 5630. Not yet, but it's trying to get that push up. So just be careful where you're shorting if you do short.
Word. Yeah, do you ever trail it?
On options, not really, bro. You get hold. If you're talking futures or forex, trailing is beautiful. But on options, bro, you're just gonna get stopped that majority of the time, in my opinion, and then the trade's gonna run without you. Cause you know how they move premiums, bro.
On forex,
yeah. All right, we got about 2 minutes. Let's see. All right, damn. This one was a sleeper. I slept on taking size on Visa. I didn't take MasterCard just because I think Visa looked cleaner, and Visa's already down a little more than MasterCard. But this wick is like, it just sticks out. So I'm telling you guys, train your eyes. You see a fat wick like this, that's not normal, and that's liquidity that they'll eventually come target. This is going to be a clean sell on Visa. MasterCard also looks really clean. So let's see what's up. But I really like these. And like I said, the real level you want to see under this previous daily low. But if you want to short from a little higher, like here, for example, for the breakdown into previous daily lows, that's fine. Yeah, MasterCard looks okay here for an entry as well. Then the banks might be down overnight as well. Barely, not really. But these have potential. See, Let's see. About 1 minute till the open.
But if and when you do open MSTR, is it going to be a weekly or is it going to be into the following week?
I'm probably gonna scalp weeklies if I'm being honest with you. I want to buy weeklies because they're literally crushed. I know for a fact, not to be like rude or anything, but I know for a fact based off what you showed me, if I want to buy into MSTR, well, assuming that the premiums are at the same price as yesterday or lower, I can get in at 50% off or lower from where you originally got in. So that seems like an attractive investment to me. If I can take the same trade, same stock, same levels, same thesis, same setup, only difference is I have a little bit of time because of the theta decay, and I'm getting half off or more than half off on the premiums. I think that's a bargain I'm willing to buy. So like I said, I don't like buying expensive stuff, and MSTR is expensive, but I know I'm getting a bargain on those contracts.
Yeah, they're at 355 right now. Hopefully it stays that way. All right.
All right, let's see what's up. Let's see if I could get filled down there myself. Yeah, good luck to everybody.
Good luck, good luck.
I don't have spy up. Nice little sell here on PM. MSTR down. Spy down a bit. I haven't touched anything yet. I'm not rushing. I'm trying to see. MSTR might have missed. I don't know if I want to chase here.
Yeah, I got filled for 200
On what?
on MSTR.
What strike?
Let's check. For the same one I had. Let me see what's that.
You should have rolled that up, fam. You should have. I told you 375 is probably the lowest I'd get. 385 is a little too expensive. 375s are trading around 250, 300. Fuck it, it's all good, bro. But yeah, that might be a little too low in my opinion. Nice sells here on Apple.
Had to cut NMD.
Netflix. Come on, man.
Netflix. Ooh, should I take that here? Why not? So Berkshire, small breakdown in here. Let's see if we can stay under 515 and push lower. Spy bouncing off that 560 level. Want to see if we can get back under. Nice little bit of selling here on MSTR.
And I'm bounce on Microsoft.
Yeah, I see it. I'm considering taking Netflix right here.
Netflix.
Yeah, I'm debating. It looks okay.
Fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
What, Netflix?
Nah, Microsoft.
Oh shit.
I'm in.
Fuck it, good look, good look. See if I could get a fill on Netflix. I lowballed the fuck out of it. If they fill me, I'll take it. Yo, normal guy, I'm confused on your question. Slider, there is volume. So if you cannot hear me for some reason, I see no audio on your FCC end. If you want to go on YouTube, I'm streaming on YouTube too, so you'll probably hear audio there. If not, just exit FCC, come back in. But yeah, there is audio. But yeah, normal guy, what do you mean? Are you asking me if I find the setups on the 12 as opposed to the 1 day, or I'm not sure what you mean by that question. So yeah, when I'm looking for the setup, I prefer the higher time frame. Like the triggers I mentioned on SPY, the 5630 level for SPX, those are coming off of daily levels I'm looking at. But when you're actually executing on them, you want to be looking at the smaller time frames. For the reactions into those smaller levels. They might have filled me, did they? Yeah, I got filled, and I'm already green. Let's fucking go.
Fuck.
Oh, let's fucking go.
I lowballed the fuck out of them, bro. They filled me into the highs, and I'm already green. Let's see if we push lower. Bro, I didn't think I was gonna get filled. I literally lowballed. Bro, I paid literally let me see what was the low that day.
$10.
Nah, bro, I paid. All right, I wasn't low a day. Low a day was 385. I got filled at 4. So 15 bucks above low a day. I think I did okay.
Damn, sniper gang.
Fuck it, let's see if we can keep coming down.
Watch this motherfucker rally, though.
Aw, hell no, bro. Why you trying to jinx me? Let's see. Ooh, MSTR, good soup. Not gonna lie, bro. If you would have gotten a better or a higher strike, you'd already be green. I'm pretty sure you're getting a little bit of premiums on this too. But since your cons are so far out the money, you need a big move to really make money on that.
You know my regular guy jumped in on a higher strike.
All right, cool.
Just to even it out. Somewhere I'm gonna make some money off of it.
All right, say less.
He's premium hun.
On in 3 minutes.
You low, bro.
On Microsoft?
Yeah, get me to that sizzle on the
Let's see.
Under 430, we bagging, bro. We bagging.
Any new highs on Netflix, I'm gonna take my shit off and try to reload later in the day. Not gonna lie, I'm not trying to take no hits today. I'll save my capital for FOMC.
And what's the expirations y'all got for Microsoft?
I'm trading some weeklies, not gonna lie.
I got the weeklies.
So
I mean, next, let me check next week. Next week's kind of like cheap too, low key.
Yeah, let me check too. Cause if I got back in, I would take it to next week.
I'd probably nah, you're good. Yeah.
Because we got FOMC, so I'm thinking if we get the move there, I'll cash out. Okay, that's not too bad, I guess.
Even banks look clean. I haven't looked at any banks here, but let's see. That's probably still viable. Yeah, they don't look terrible.
A couple of days ago, these were cheaper for next week's.
Yo, banks actually look good here for a small trade if anyone wants to take it. They're pretty cheap. If you don't have too much capital, that might be a viable trade. Bank of your choice, maybe Wells Fargo, BAC, XLF. JPM I like trading a lot, but that one's already down a little more than the other ones. Let's see if Netflix can get below the 1618.
422 fives. I'll bag it there.
At 422? Damn, we're asking for a whole $10 drop.
I'm praying for it.
Let's see.
We've been tagging them highs
And the lows, bro. So when they break, and the volume on Microsoft has been stacking heavy on the calls. I'm sure you guys have seen it.
We've been eyeing this since like what, last week?
Yeah. In Wells Fargo. All right, cool, William. I like that one.
Should I fear that wick though? That wick at Microsoft? That's on the 3.
Bro, you should fear everything. You should fear Powell coming on stage and saying good morning, and then we're up 1,000,000 points.
A That was
Literally, he says one word and then boom.
Every time. I'm get ready for work.
yo, the best thing he could say, yo, I'm raising rates. Y'all doing too good out there.
Bruh.
I swear, bro.
Way too much, dog. Nah. You got me paying for
Hitman
fucking
Trump,
bread for fucking $5.
bro. Hitman fucking Trump will rape them corners right now if they did that together.
Paying for water bottles for like $3 a bottle.
Bro, look at Apple. Why can't Microsoft just let us get what Apple doing?
Please.
Netflix too, bro. If we get under 1618, it's game time.
Demon time, dog. I just need it under 430, bro.
Shit.
Please. Well, fuck you, AMD. Now you decide.
Your face paying up pretty nicely, not gonna lie. Let's see what that one's doing. Oh shit.
Nah, this motherfucker's rallying.
What? Microsoft?
Yeah.
Let's see. Might be a little maybe not, let's see, but you have 3 tops here.
I mean, Broadcom is
1,
paying
2, 3. If we stay below the sales below level, maybe we'll come down. You said Qualcomm's what?
Yeah, paying. I'm 23%.
On Qualcomm?
No, ABGO.
Oh, bro, I was like, what? Oh, Broadcom. I heard Qualcomm. My bad, my bad. E clean under that 201.31. I'm gonna get rid of Apple, not gonna lie. Let's pull up AVGO. Bro, come on, Netflix, let's get it. Bro, if Netflix doesn't break below the 1618 either on this 3-minute candle or in the next one, I'm gonna probably cut these because I'm scared. If we don't break down right now, they're gonna come up and fill these wicks, and I do not want to take the hit. So if we don't get the breakdown, either this candle or the next 3-minute candle, I might just take the quick win on Netflix. It's like 15-20% right now, not bad. Let's see, bro.
Seems like it's just gonna fill that wick. Does it have to? Does it always have to tippy top the wick?
The previous day, this one, previous day high.
Yeah.
They
No,
don't
like
have
on the 3 minute.
on the 3-minute. No, they don't have to. I'm not scared of this. I'm scared of this over here, bro.
Okay.
Like if we do break out from these ranges, I don't think they'll do that. But like I said, it's definitely possible. So don't force nothing. Oh, for real? Let's go. Let's see what's up, bro. Pretty early. Already green on a few names. Oh, keep an eye on MSTR, bro. We're coming back into 395. So, fade and come down off this 395 level, see new lows, or push back above 395. You might want to be careful with that. Yeah, Netflix. I'm considering. I'm 30%. How many minutes? Like in what? 12 minutes. Debating decisions. PG's green too. The PG 160s are in the money, and then J&J, I want to see what it does at this 155 level right here. J&J, I'm telling you, it looks clean, but a little too choppy for me on the higher time frames. Whoops, what did I do? Yeah, I hope Netflix doesn't reclaim the 1618. If we reclaim it, get back above, I'll see what I do. But if we do start pushing, I'm gonna probably just take the small win and then maybe try putting them back on later today. Let's see if PM can come down a bit. This one took a bit of my premiums, but I'm green on everything else, so it's all good. MSTR above 395 here. So next, the next 3 minutes into 648 is going to be super important. If we remain above 395 into 648, that might be a potential area you might want to get out in case we squeeze higher. So you'll have your decision within the next 3 minutes. Keep an eye on that here. Anyone not in it, if you want to fade this 395 on the next 3 minute candle, assuming we're gonna, reject this area and come back down, that's an okay trade. You just want to have tight stops above in case we do break out, you don't take the hit. But fading from here for a breakdown looks okay in my opinion.
We should be fading right now.
Just Netflix's. Let's go. What else do I need to track today? Walmart down a bit. What else am I holding? I hope so. I kind of want to take these EFAs off, bro. I'm gonna sell half. Just because they're not the most liquid, bro. The spreads are shit. Nice little flip on Burke. Let's see if MSTR gives us the flip here on this 3 minute candle. So again, if not in MSTR, this might be an okay entry for a scalp, assuming we're gonna break back down 395.
Microsoft keeps trying to go for EQ, but not today, motherfucker. Go back to PDL.
Let's see, bro. No way these were trading at that price at the open. Netflix back above 1618 here. Took my eyes off the screen for 1 second. We back above. I'm gonna probably hold it for a bit just because I do like what I'm seeing across the board. Berkshire looks downside. MSTR just got that beautiful sales entry. If you took that, PM coming down a bit. Microsoft giving us the move down now. So I'm gonna try to hold on to these puts a bit longer. But yeah, if you took MSTR, that was a beautiful setup. Now all you gotta do is stay under 395 and you can get paid on those. J&J above 155 here. Not ideal. So banks are up a bit. That might be a play. Bank of America is still viable. Wells Fargo coming down a little more. If you're not in already at this point, Bank of America looks a little cleaner since we haven't made the same move down that Wells Fargo did and JPM did. Oh, JPM actually came up. But yeah, let's see what happens with banks here. Microsoft small sell. Netflix well above this 1618 here, so I might have to take that one off myself. Still green. Again, above previous day high on any of these, you do not want to be short. So MSTR back above previous day high. For me, currently Netflix, I'm watching the 16618 as my point of control. Microsoft, you want to see it remain below under 434.50. But a lot of these names, if they do start making moves to the upside, you want to be careful. AVGO making a move back up. Again, as long as we're below the 786 at 201.31, that's fine. But any breakout above that, you want to be cautious if you are short, because we can break out higher. Microsoft, let's go. Bro, same time we both seen that. I was like, come on, bro, let's get that. MSTR2, I'm telling you guys, that was a beautiful entry if you took that on a golden platter. It don't get cleaner than that. If you entered here and you get the breakdown, beautiful. Bro, I'm literally calling like 8 different names at the same time. I'm like, let's get it. Netflix breakdown, Microsoft, MSTR, Berkshire, everything busting right now. Except for gold. Gold's starting to come up a bit, but I'm not tripping. Or green on that. Ah, come on, gang. Join the party, normal guy. What you trying to run, fam? Let's see what's still viable. I think banks might be okay if you're not in it yet. Never mind. Fat ass candle. If you would have got in up here when I just mentioned it, you'd be green here. Chasing down here, ugly sight, not gonna lie. We can continue coming down, but it's probably not the best idea to enter here, in my opinion. I'd rather take, you know, clean entries before the breaks. So like up here, whatever. Right here, it's like, fuck, you're paying a pretty penny on premium increase. And then if we have any small pop to the upside, you're gonna, you know, eat a loss on that pullback. So, I mean, if we get a small pop at higher and you can short back into the highs for a move lower, that's okay. Right here, you're kind of chasing, but your call, fam. That's a fat ass 3-minute candle, bro. Yeesh. Just looking for swings. I'm down on PM, bro. Keeping it a stack. Shit. If you like PM, you can get a discount. If you don't like it, take something else. But I think PM is still viable for a trade. Those 172.5s look decent.
I'm down on that too.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I'm green on everything else, so it's like I'm not really tripping. One trade down out of so many, like it helped. Like your port's fine. If you wanted to scale into that one, you can, but we want to see breakdowns across the board. So I don't have SPY up. Let's bring up SPY. See, so right now, like I said earlier, be careful shorting into the lows. We literally came back all the way into 56.30 and reversed off of that level. So for now, I'm a lot more comfortable sitting on sells on SPY myself, just because of the fact that we broke down and I said, hey, don't short into these lows. We retested what we broke down from and came down to those lows. If we lose these lows, that's where we're gonna go for the breakdown we discussed pre-market, right? So that would essentially bring down the rest of the market. So PM looks clean if we get that. If we do start bouncing from these levels across the board, then maybe refrain from taking PM here, if I'm being honest with you. I might have to add myself here. But again, if we get the breakdowns, which it looks like we will. So PM might not be a bad add here, or just for starters if you don't have it. Assuming we're going to continue lower across the market. Microsoft is one of the names we need to see breakdown here. But yeah, those PMs, I personally like the 172.5s for next week. If you want to grab the June swings, that's cool too. If you want to grab higher strike, lower strike on the Junes, that's fine. But for next week, I'm looking at the 172.5 myself. Well, that's what I'm in. So essentially just adding it to lower my cost average. And then we still need breakdowns across the board. Again, if we start bouncing from here on all these names, you want to be careful if you are short. Just about anything paid. If you took any of those sales, whether it was on Bank of America, Netflix, Microsoft, on that small pullback, you got small greens. So if we do start bouncing from here, be careful. So look SPY. Again, Netflix above that 1618, I'm going to go ahead and take this off myself, which it looks like it's threatening to do here, and go for that wick fill high. So just be mindful across the board. Look at Microsoft bounce, everything bouncing here. breakdowns below current lows, then we have clean continuation to the downside. You can sit on your puts for a bit, but if we do start reclaiming levels, you don't want to be sitting on sells. I wouldn't take Lily, bro. You missed that. Like, you chasing here for sure. You got into BAC? Cool. Yeah, that one paid. LOY, like, I'm sorry, bro, but you missed it. You're more than chasing here. This was the open gap we discussed. It's just about filled. Can we go for the south side liquidity? Sure, but it already ran 200 bucks in a matter of a couple of days. Chasing something that moved 200 bucks in a matter of days when you had zero, skin in the game up here, definitely not. If you want to take it, to each his own, but that's not a trade I myself would take. Again, not saying you can't make money. It's just not something I myself would want to take, if I'm being honest with you. Go look at any option on LLY and go look at the premium. The premium a couple days ago is going to be, pennies on the dollar to what you're paying today. Yeah, there's a lot better options here in my opinion than LLY. Like Berkshire is one of the ones I discussed that can do something similar to LLY. It's pretty clean setup, looks similar to LLY, came down off of ER, so pretty similar. And that one has a 460 target. Hasn't moved as much. If we do get those 460 targets within next week, that's obviously going to pay pretty well. Netflix pushing here above 1618. This might be my time to exit here. I'm still up 16% on it, so not bad, but I'll probably just go ahead and take my small win here before we break out to the highs. I'm probably going to give it until we break above 142.75. Above that, I'll probably just go ahead and take those. And then MSTR bouncing off those lows we discussed. Now it's a battle of the ranges. Which range, which side of the range is going to get taken out first? These lows or these highs? When you're in a range like this, you're not supposed to be taking trades, or at least I don't like to be taking trades. Once you get the confirmation on a breakout or breakdown is when I prefer the trade. Shorting up here like we did, that's fine. But right now that we're currently ranging, you're kind of guessing which way we're going to go. So you're better off just waiting and letting price tell you in what direction you're headed. Once you get the breakdown to the south side, if you are short, great. Confirms yourselves, you can sit on that. If you get the breakout, then that's a sign to exit your puts. Vice versa, if you're long or trying to long into this little range, you get the breakout, great, sit on your calls. If you get the breakdown, that would be your sign to exit. So that's essentially what I do on ranges. Again, you don't want to enter when you're in the range because you're literally guessing. I'm telling you guys, hey, we're headed lower. I might be mistaken and we head higher from here. But again, the difference is I shorted from up here and not inside the range. But let's see if we manage to get the breakdown here. That's the general rule of thumb. Don't trade inside of a range. Wait for the breakdown within the range. If you're taking trades within the range, tactically, that's fine. Anything other than that, you're kind of guessing which way we're going to go, which respectfully, even myself, I don't know. I'm hoping for the breakdown, might be mistaken. Let's see. And then Netflix here into the 1142 level I mentioned. So unless we reject off of this level like we're doing and come lower, this is going to be my sign to exit. I mean, there's ranges on all time frames, so I can't tell you low time frame because J&J, for example, were in a higher time frame range, but you can also have lower time frame ranges at the same time. So this entire zone for the most part is a range currently on J&J. If you want to short, let's say the uppermost range for potential pullbacks, that's fine. But yeah, they can be ranges on dailies. They could be ranges on the 3 minute. So that's not like one specific thing. You kind of want to look at the whole picture. You definitely want clean levels on the dailies and higher time frames. So yeah, like that's why I'm saying J&J, I like it to the downside, but due to the fact that we've been chopping for so long within these levels, it's not really ideal in my opinion. You want something that has clear levels where you can break down or break out from. For real, watch you go to PDH, bro. That would be nasty. For now, EQ might be a test and then revert. We'll see. But PDH would for sure be nasty. If we do get that, I might have to do what I said earlier and take smaller sales into the highs on FOMC. Like some 0DT puts on SPX or something would be nasty if we get to the highs. Right into FOMC. But right now, nah, I'm gonna chill. What did I have down here?
It was just testing EQ.
Let's see. And then PG's literally just sitting at the 1618. I mean, not PG, PM. MSTR back at the lows. Let's see if we manage to break down below these lows this time around. And then Berkshire, look at this huge, like, what is this, bro? Berkshire's getting ready too. Let's get that next leg down. Come on. Let's change the color. Need some black candles right now. And then AVGO is rejecting currently right under 201.31 again. So like I said, as long as we remain below trigger levels, I like the tactical sells. You start squeezing above trigger levels, definitely want to be careful being short. I gotta check IBM. IBM might be good.
VIX showed a piece of green, so that's working. Like eighth of a second.
Yikes. So IBM I kind of like. It's been following the path pretty well from where we drew it out. The only thing I don't like, it has a tiny bit more upside, so probably gonna pass on that one. A lot of names still have upside wicks, like AVGO still has that 215 ER wick. We do not have to fill them, but like I say all the time, just remain cautious. Anytime you have liquidity above and you're on the opposing trade, you want to be careful. Yikes. Honestly, if we get a huge rally on FOMC, that would deliver the targets we've been discussing, and then we can potentially have those super clean sales from there. So like I said, don't force everything here at the lows. Leave room to add higher just in case you have to. For now, intraday, if you're still short names like MSTR, Berkshire, or anything that still has a decent promising setup, that's fine. But again, once you get above triggered levels, you want to be careful. Remain tactical on everything. Like Microsoft, for example, it's been testing lows, hasn't given us a trigger below. But if it does give us the breakout, that's obviously going to crush those, the put premiums. So if we break down below 434.50, great. If we stay above, that's a name that can potentially squeeze higher from here. Berkshire still within that super tight flag. I want to see which way Berkshire breaks from here. If it breaks to the upside, it is what it is. And then MSTR pushing back up here into 395. What's Bitcoin doing? Oof, nice little push here to the upside on Bitcoin. Bitcoin, again, if we break above this level like we discussed in the morning, we're gonna go for that wick fill. So just be careful with that. Gap close here on EFA. Let's see if we can get some continuation lower. PM coming into 175 here. I might take ads here. I hadn't added. I'm probably gonna do it here. Small size. Yeah, PM premiums are down enough for me to add. I like the setup. I think that's viable here. If you don't have it or if you're not short other names, that's fine. But again, same comments. If we get breakouts across the board, expect this name to continue higher as well. But I like it myself in terms of premiums. SPX is probably coming into that level. Yep, so back above 656.30. Like we said this morning, be careful if short above this level. So we currently are above. We want to see us get back below 56.30, you know, rather quickly and stay below this time for more continuation to the downside. Anything above 56.30, you want to be very careful being short. So for now, this looks like we might get that pullback and breakdown. But again, remain cautious if short above 56.30. MSTR 395 test inbound. Again, if you're in that above 395 is going to be your sign to exit. An SPX clean bounce off that 56.30 we discussed, and it looks like it's going to go for the breakout. Let's check the higher time frames. So bouncing off this level we mentioned this morning. So imagine you literally shorted at the lows. That is why you want to be careful with doing that. We filled this wick here. If they want to bring it back to the lows, they can. But again, be careful because the path still favors upside unless they manage to trigger below that 56.30 that we're currently trading above. So these are the potential targets if we fail to get back below 56.30. So again, if you were short and we're like, which we are above here, be careful because they can continue to squeeze higher like they're doing so. Like I said, if we are into the highs into FOMC, that's going to be an ideal short, but you do not want to sit on your sales above 56.30 here in case they do squeeze to those highs, you don't take the hit. If you are short here and you want to sit out a couple more minutes just in case we get the flip here back to the downside, that's fine. Same comments I mentioned earlier about trading within a range. This is a 3-minute range. So until we don't really break out any higher from here or lower, you're okay to sit on that. Anywhere above, you know, you can exit. If we get the breakdown, then great. Sit on them for a bit longer. And then Netflix coming back into the previous day highs here. Nice pullback on gold. And then Microsoft, I want to see back under 434.37. That's going to be the trigger level for sells on Microsoft if we get back under. Berkshire's still within this flag and getting super tight here. So breakout or breakdown inbound pretty soon here. Let's see which way Berkshire moves. It's going to be pretty important. And then MSTR is still below 395, but again, back above 395, you want to be super careful with that. Wow, I just realized Slider told me earlier he couldn't hear me, and I literally answered him by talking. He obviously didn't hear that. Bro, I'm stupid. I just realized. I was about to ask him again, hey Slider, can you hear me? But it's like, bro, he literally said he can't hear me. How is he gonna hear me? That was a minute ago too. He's probably been sitting there lost the whole time. Berkshire pushing into the highs here. Let's see if it actually goes for the breakout. And then Netflix about to do that wick fill here. So wick fill and fade off that previous day high versus a potential breakout. And then Microsoft again, we want to see it below 434.37. Top range here on SPX. Let's see if they manage to do it. Let's check the options today. Heavier on the puts today for sure. Not by like a not like by a huge spread, but definitely more on the put side. Not on everything. Some names like semis still remain super bullish. Really low volume today though, I will say that. Really low volume.
The Oro.
That's
Perfect.
MSTR still below 395. I don't know if anyone took PM. I did, like I told you guys I would, so hopefully we get the flip from these levels. But if we do continue squeezing higher here, like SPX for example, small rejection off the top of the range. But if we do continue higher here across the board, I might just de-risk a bit on everything. But I do continue to like the sells here, assuming we come back below 56.30 eventually within the next few minutes. But yeah, PM is clean. Levels are clean. Premiums are down a bit, so I'm getting a deal on that. So let's see. Microsoft below 434.37 is going to be the level to watch here if they manage to flip. And I just got the wick fill on Netflix, so that if that comes back down on a flip here, that's viable. If no one took it on the last entry, again, breakdown on Microsoft, SPY, Netflix, MSTR, Berkshire, etc. These sells are once again not terrible for an entry. So like if you missed Bank of America on this initial drop, like I said, do not chase. If you didn't chase, amazing. You can get a better entry here again, back to those lows. So these are viable sells again here across the board. Take your pick, but generally just don't chase, you'll be okay. This is an okay entry in my books, again, assuming we come back down below trigger levels.
BTC Wickfield, it's showing red. Red.
Which wick? Not quite yet, but I see what you're talking about. Oh, this one? The one I'm
Yeah.
scared of is the one at the highs from yesterday. But yeah, I see it. That's clean. Nice flips here across the board. So again, if you took any of the reshorts, you should be doing okay. Hopefully we see continuation lower, nothing substantial yet. Again, we want the breakdowns below triggers.
Oh, Michael Powell.
Bro, EQ. If it gets above EQ, it's probably gonna push, not gonna lie. So let's see if we manage to stay below EQ. Let's go on the 1 minute. Look at SPX though and MSTR. I like what I see here so far. We just need a tiny bit more selling pressure and it's gonna get us over the hump.
We're taking weeklies on Burke.
It depends what you want to take, fam. I think you're probably better off doing next week if I'm being honest with you. If you want to do weekly, that's fine. But you want to give it some time so you could potentially maybe capture that 460 target. I'm not saying you'll get it by next week, but you're definitely not getting it this week. Can we? Sure, but I'd probably rather do next week just in case you get that extra time window to get some more money out of it.
Okay, because I was gonna enter right now.
Yeah, I like it. Like I said, it's a similar setup to LLY. I think the downside is going to be amazing if it triggers. But probably just leave room to add if you do take next week's. This is the level we discussed pre-market. As long as we stay below this, the downside should be rather easily, but be cautious if we do break out above this at any point. We can come back to previous day highs, and then you can maybe re-short from up here if we get there. But again, for now, the level 2 watch is going to be the previous day high. Sorry, not the previous day high. Into 515, no, 516.35. SPY looks clean here, even for 0 DTs, not gonna lie. I might have to pass on it myself, but if this is gonna be the flip here and we drive to new lows of the day, this might pay here. Let me check premiums.
AMD is trying to flip to the downside.
Let's see. Not gonna lie to y'all, I might have nibbled. I took small size on the 0 DTEs, bro. I took the 0 DTEs, not gonna lie to y'all. They look clean, bro. I couldn't. I already paid on those here on that drop. Hopefully we get back under EQ, but yeah, that setup looked pretty clean. If we get back below 56.30, amazing. Those are gonna pay. Anywhere above the highs, I'm gonna go ahead and take the small cut on those, and then I'll try to put them back on closer to FOMC, like I said earlier. Hopefully we don't get the breakout here, because I'm gonna take a hit on those 0 DTs, but it's all good. I like the RR on them. Anywhere above 56.40, I'm probably gonna go ahead and call it on those with the quick loss, and then I'll try to re-enter later if I can. Microsoft pushing above EQ here, so watch out for that.
Netflix getting ugly.
Hell no.
Netflix trying to
Microsoft might go for that wick we discussed pre-market, so just be mindful. It's about a $4 upside move from here.
I should be maybe about 25% down Netflix. Ain't that bad.
Did you? Let me check mine. Yeah, I'm down about 22. That one I'm not gonna add either. Maybe into FOMC, I'll see what's up. But again, I'm just holding on the same stuff. The 0DTs I'm still in above 5640. I'm just gonna go ahead and de-risk across the board on everything and reassess into FOMC. But for now, I'm still holding those 0DTs I just put on and a few other trades. It's still super early too. We haven't even been open for 1 hour yet. I'm gonna run for a glass of water real quick, guys. I'll be right back. But keep an eye on everything across the board. The number one thing I keep an eye on here is SPX. SPX has to come back down towards the lows and ideally break below 5630 for continuation lower. Anywhere above the top of the range, like we discussed, it's gonna potentially get ugly. But if we do break down, then clean.
That motherfucker flipping.
Bro, we'll see what's up. Berkshire pushing a bit here. Berkshire did have a bit of upside room, so that's not too bad. Like I said yesterday, you wanted to potentially fade into previous day highs, which is where we're at right now. Whoops. So I think that's still okay price action on Berkshire. And then let's see if we get the breakdowns. All right, I'll be right back, guys. But like I said, be super careful here. If we break out, if short, be right back. Bruh. Nah, I'm gonna wait one candle. If I get a tiny one more breakdown, then I'll go. I'm literally watching everything. I was gonna take my phone, bro, but it's like, you know what? Better off waiting 1 minute till I get a little bit of.
You might have to give me more than a minute. This fool best that is talking.
Oh, for real?
Yes, God, that fool's talking right now.
All right, then hopefully he says something to bring us lower. We'll see.
U.S. seeks to expand leadership in IMF World Bank. The whole world is gonna buy XRP.
Yeah, there's a decent push around Berkshire, but like I said, levels wise, you're still within like if you look at it on a daily, you know, you're still fine. On the smaller time frames, yes, it looks like a massive rally, which, you know, it is sizable. But in terms of where you want to be, as long as we remain below 520, I think you're gonna be okay. So your call if you decide you want to take it off or anything, but I still think that one might be okay, assuming the rest of the market comes down here too. I don't like how long SPX is taking up here. The longer we sit up here, the less I'm gonna like those puts, because more likely we are to break out. If we would have, immediately came down, that's beautiful. But the longer we sit up here, the higher probability they're gonna go for the breakout. What did you take, Jinder? Did you take this week or next week?
I took next week.
Next week, okay. If you want to add a little more here, I'm fine with that. But you want to see the breakdown on SPY and everything else. If SPY moons, then you're going to get something similar on Berkshire. But if we break down from these levels on majority of these names we're tracking, like AVGO into that 20131, SPX top range, etc., I'm cool with the sells on Berkshire here if you want to add to them.
Flip right out of QEQ, bro.
SPX 0DTs going back green. Let's see.
Nah, Microsoft.
Would you be okay like expanding the time of those? Like,
Oh, definitely. No, definitely. You can grab more time. You can always grab more time. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you like the minimum time you need, but you're more than welcome to grab more time. That's why I said weeklies. Weeklies probably not ideal for that 460. Next week, if you get lucky, you might hit 460. But obviously, if you want to grab time into June, that's even better. We're paid here on those 0DTs if you took them.
God damn.
Hopefully, we break below 5630 though. Nothing to celebrate, if I'm being honest. Unless we get below 5630 here in bottom range, literally nothing to celebrate, because just as easily we can bounce back to the highs like we've been doing all day. So again, below 5630 payday, as long as we stay above it, we can potentially bounce higher. So I'm remaining cautious with this one. See, look at that little bounce. Remain cautious under 56.30. Let's see.
Ew.
Look at that. I'm telling you.
This car stick.
They're probably gonna break out here, not gonna lie. I might take these off. Yeah, there they go. I'm telling you, bro, never celebrate too early. Literally just grabbed all that liquidity and pushed higher. Fresh 12-minute here. Let's see what this fresh 12-minute candle does. Breakout on the fresh 12-minute candle. And then AVGO on watch here into that 201 level. MSTR pushing into 395.
Yeah, that BTC candle you're talking about, is that on the 1 hour?
You could probably see it on the 3 hour. I'm not sure if it's on the 1 hour, but for sure you can see it on the 3.
Yeah, I see something on the 1 hour. Too many damn upside waves. Yep, I see it's the same thing.
For MSTR, like I said, 395 is your level to watch. But if I'm being honest with you, everything's pushing here. I wouldn't be surprised if SPY gives us the breakout here and MSTR does something similar. Under 395, you might be okay. As for SPX, under 5640. But I'm telling you, like, it's just a couple points away and things can get very, you know, we can squeeze a bit. So just be mindful. EFA is probably one of the trades holding up the best, which is surprising because it's been trading pretty bad last few days. It's not trading bad, it's just not the most liquid on the options, which I assumed they were liquid. I mean, they are liquid, just not as liquid as I'd like. Wow, look at, I'm telling you, do not trade the range. Literally just ping-ponging. If you, like, we get above the highs, like I said, we're breaking out. We break below the lows, we're coming down. But if you're trying to trade within the range, like I said, it can go either way. And especially within chop like this on anything like 0DT, you're taking hits. If you have swings or something else, you're okay to sit through ranges, but comments remain the same. Within the range, you don't know which way we're headed. Just wait for the breakout or breakdown of the range, and then that would be your ideal trade.
Okay, I need Netflix to flip here. This will get dangerous if it doesn't.
Normal guy, I just saw your comment in YouTube. I haven't really been looking at the YouTube so much since everyone's in the FCC, but I'm not sure what specific setup you were asking about adding. Some setups are viable to add, like the gold one when we added into all-time highs and it paid. Stuff like that is fine to add to on swings. Generally, I don't want to add on 0DTEs or anything like that you can't really manage. But if it's a swing or something that you can, you know, lower your cost base and the trade still looks like it can play out in your favor, then that's fine. But no, generally you don't want to scale into losers. But if the trade still looks clean, levels are viable, the thesis remains there. It just happens to be that premiums are lower because of theta decay, chop, etc., whatever the reason may be. Then I think that's okay to take advantage. Berkshire looks clean here. Gender, if you did add, so cool. If you didn't, that's fine, but it looks okay for a potential flip here into 517.75. The level you definitely don't want to see over is 520. Start pushing above 520. You might want to consider just going ahead and taking that off and reassessing later down the line. And then there's that test on MSTR here. There's the push on SPX, and again 56.40 is gonna be my solid stop on this. I'll reassess later into FOMC, see if I can add or take something else, but for now, yeah, definitely I'm just gonna go ahead and cut those. When I take 0 DTs, by the way, I size for 0. Ideally, you obviously don't want that to happen. But anytime I could take a 0 DT, I take it with small enough size to the point that I would be fine if, you know, I took the full hit on them. Ginger, that's cool. That's fine, solid. Grab a little more time. But generally, when I'm buying a contract, I want to buy the monthly expiration. So that would be 620. That's fine. 613 is solid. But for future reference, if you're gonna center any trades around June, I prefer the 620s over 613. But that's fine. AVGO test here above 201. So let's see what we get here. Again, above 201.31 is going to be the potential breakout on AVGO. And if semis do run from these levels, SPY and everything else is going to come up with it. So again, this is the moment of truth. This 3-hour candle is a fresh 3-hour candle. We are opening here, right? We left some liquidity down to these lows, and then we have resistance into these highs. We are currently trading here. If we start pushing up above, you have the potential to go higher, right? If we break below the lows, you have this potential. So here into 201, keep it tactical. If you want to take the sells for the downside, that's fine. But be aware, if they do start breaking above that 201.31, high probability they're going to go for the breakout. So below 201.31, the sells are okay. But right now, as we are currently going above, if we stay above, they're going to go for the breakout. So just be careful if you do happen to be short on semis or anything in general. Let's see, has SPY tagged? Not yet, almost. Small flip here on Netflix. Let's see if we get some continuation down. All right, now I'm for real gonna step away and get a glass of water. Keep an eye on these names. I already have a stop myself on SPX and other names. So if we do break out, I'm just gonna go ahead and take the small paper cut, and then I'll probably chill out a bit until closer to FOMC. And then I'll see if we can fill some upside targets to potentially reshort. Other than that, I'm not going to be doing too much here. I kind of want to wait to see how the day develops. If we do flip here on names, if short, you're okay to stay short. Or if you just took shorts like on Berkshire, for example, Gender, I know you just took them. I still think the trades are fine. Let's move this up. As long as we break down. So look, if we get this path here, you come back down to the range we were currently in. That's going to be a problem again. Why? Because we failed to break down here. So you want to assume we're going to fail to break down again. If we get down there, I'm not saying we get down there, but if we get down there, this is the real test below this. If we get under 514, that's going to be where you can potentially see some nice selling pressure. But for now, this might just be a retracement before we continue higher. So just be mindful if you're in that. But so far, nice little pullback here on your ads. And SPX back into the range. All right, fuck it. I'm gonna step out real quick. Let me just get a glass of water. I'll be right back. But Hopefully we get the breakdown here, because not gonna lie, I took a hit on them preems across the board. It's all good. Left room to add on everything into FOMC if we get clean setups. But let's see if we get breakdowns. Be right back. All right, I'm back. What's going on? Let's see. Microsoft below EQ, so that's okay. AVGO above 786, not great for bears. If we get back below, that's gonna be a potential market structure shift back to the downside. That looks okay for a potential scalp short, assuming we're gonna break down. Keyword assuming. SPX is currently trying to hold above its range. If it does remain above, it's going to go for the breakout. This was probably just a little retest before heading higher. If we do get the flip back below, then I think that's going to be an okay trade if you want to take it. Whether SPY or AVGO, they both look clean for potential flip down here. MSTR, Ramiro, I don't know if you're still in them. You probably are. We want to see back below 395 here. But the longer we remain above support levels, more likely we head up. So they're kind of trying to form bases on the way up, and right now they're forming a solid base at 395. So unless we lose this rather quickly, they're trying to form support to head higher here. AVGO coming back under 201.31. and SPX trying to lose its range. Let's see. I might add to Netflix. Yep, I'm adding to Netflix. I just looked at the premiums. I'm adding to Netflix here. So I didn't have much size on it. I'm just gonna throw small size on this. Again, be super careful. It's an FOMC day. If you've never traded an FOMC day, to all the new people here, like, you're about to get yourself a show. If you have not traded an FOMC day, like, just be ready.
Welcome to the casino.
And keep in mind, this is a fresh 3-hour candle. Wait, no, it is not. That's odd. I guess it is not on SPX, but for the most part, all individual stocks have fresh 3-hourly candles here. What does that mean? Is that you're gonna get your continuation. Let's get rid of drawings. MSTR, for example, you see how we have a fresh 3-hour body candle, meaning this candle just opened. We have highs. So real quick, how do candles work? You have your open, right? Your low, where we currently are, your high. This one opened here, came all the way down here, closed here. So real quick, right? Super simple candlestick basics. If this candle that just opened here pushed up, grabs some of the liquidity on this 3-hour candle, the previous one, respects the highs and breaks the previous candle body lows of the 3-hour, you can go target that low and maybe even lower. In the same sense, if we break above the 3-hour candle body high, you're gonna go for the breakout. The real level we're watching is the previous day high into 394.5. But that's essentially what's going on the higher time frames. On the 3 minute, it kind of just looks like we're chopping. But what's really going on is just we had that drop on the 3-hour. We came back up, we're opening here. Now this 3-hour candle is gonna be your confirmation candle to the downside on a break of the lows, or this 3-hour is gonna invalidate and go for the upside breakout. But again, the level to watch on the lower time frame here is gonna be that 394.56. But just to show you guys, on a 3 minute, it looks like one thing. You go to a 12, you might see something a little different, but then you go to 192 and you get entirely different setup. Go to daily. So just be mindful, go across all time frames when you're scanning markets or looking for trades. Let's see what happens here. So Berkshire, like I said, above 520 is going to be a potential exit. For now, if you're in it, you're still okay to sit on it, in my opinion. Anywhere above 520, that's your exit. So anywhere above this 1618, you're going to want to be out of that. And your shorter contracts probably took a hit. Your June ones, maybe not. What I like to do, oftentimes, if you can load 2 sets, let's say you loaded at the same time, which I know you didn't, but let's say right now, or earlier, you loaded 516 and 620. Your 620s are going to be taken, sorry, not the 620s. 620s are going to be fine, small hit, but the shorter dated are definitely going to be taking a hit. When situations like that happen, sometimes I'll add a little bit to the shorter dated if I see opportunities on the shorter time frames, just to get, take advantage of that low premium on that move against you. But you don't always have to do that, just saying. Microsoft, nice move here. Microsoft under 434 37. So the level we want to see under here. If we get closure below there, that's gonna be amazing. Bro, my bad. I don't know if y'all were talking. I forgot. Bro, I didn't have my headset on. I just realized I came back but forgot to put my headset on. Microsoft under 434 hit. What, Microsoft?
Hell yeah.
I added to Netflix, bro. I'm gonna regret that one if it don't hit, but it's all good.
Look at the high time frames for Microsoft. There's like that fat wick on the down. I mean, everything across the board has like a wick on the downside, but for that one,
And we already filled topside kinda. I just don't like this wig, bro, if I'm being honest with you. You know what wig really scares me for real? The one on Bitcoin. But I doubt it. I just don't like how flat this is. I would prefer if they went for liquidity sweep and then I'm not saying I want that because obviously I'm gonna lose on the sells, but I'm just saying, speaking from a technical perspective, it would make sense if they go
like that's when we usually see it.
yeah, it would make sense if they go sweep the highs before the lows. Might not happen, but on FOMC, you know, one candle sweep the highs, bang, next candle down at the lows.
All it takes is
Yep.
one.
So gender, same comments. This is your exit. If above. For now, I still think you're fine. Look at Microsoft. Microsoft literally gave decent back just in one candle. So just for perspective on Berkshire where you are, we're right around here. So one candle gave all this up. Let's throw fibs on that real quick. Low to high. You're literally coming into the 618 and the 786. So in my books, the 618 and the 786 is going to be your ideal retracement short. So retrace into this 618, 786 of the move, and that's where you get your next leg down. Generally, not always. That's assuming it's going to be a retracement and this isn't actually going to go back to the highs, which I really don't think so. Like I said, we already had those 460 Wickfield targets, and now with Buffett stepping down, I just think that's like somewhat of a catalyst for Berkshire to continue going down, if I'm being honest. And we already have downside liquidity. 460 is like a 10% move. That's fat. That's a payday on options. So I get it. Sometimes the drawdown sucks, but a lot of the trades I take and swing, like anyone here can vouch, like they go for more than 100% when they hit. I'm talking 300, 500, 1000%. So yes, you do take losses here and there. But when you do get paid out, the risk or reward outweighs the cost. So it's like sometimes you're down 15, 30% on a trade. It seems heavy, sure, but you can't expect to see, 10x returns and you see zero drawdown. Like, sure, you can manage the drawdown, but it's like you got to take both sides type of thing.
Oh, Microsoft.
MSTR back under 395. So let's see if we get under the low of the day and we lose this box that we've been tracking all day. We're about to get paid on MSTR. And then Microsoft coming down pretty clean. Gold coming down. Netflix coming down. I'm glad I added. SPX hasn't paid though, so watch out. Shit, it might be an okay trade if you're not in it yet. A 0 DTE on Spire SPX for a quick trade here. Assuming markets are going to keep coming down and we're going to get the breakdowns. We can easily bounce from these levels, so watch out. AVGO coming under that 201.31. There you go. Nice little move on SPY.
This shit really moving right before I'm about to clock in, bro.
This was gonna be anxious as fuck.
Dude, I'm gonna be staring at the customers like, hi, how may I help you?
Bruh. Let's see what's up here. Again, we still have not triggered any key levels, so hopefully we can get back below 56.30 on SPY. That would make me feel a lot more comfortable sitting on sales. But you see how literally this entire morning, for the most part, it's been a choppy range. So stuff like this, I'd rather just sit out of ranges. I get it. I did try to short here into the highs because I'm a goofy, but hopefully we get the breakdowns. Anywhere above highs, I'm telling you guys, be careful with the shorts. Yeah, VGO barely. As long as under 201.31, I like it. But like I said, this one's been chopping for a bit too into these levels.
Netflix at
Look at
$14.
this. You got some here? I'm telling you, I added a bit here, bro. I added a bit, not gonna lie. The premiums, they look juicy. You gonna let me short Netflix for half off? I'll take that. I'll take my odds. You could do next week too. You could do next week, but they haven't taken a hit like this week. So if you want to take advantage of the premium hit, it's on these weeks. That's what I'm telling you guys. You got to make money where there's money to be made. So there's discrepancies in prices. Let's say the June 20s haven't went up in price. Or sorry, let's say the weeklies or shorter time frames already went up, but the longer dated have went up. Sometimes I'll go snipe the longer dated, or if the longer dated went up, a shorter dated, like just there's different ways to play the options. It's essentially just a game of math. Like, how much am I risking? How much can I make? You just play the numbers, and as long as you're always on the right side of the numbers, statistically, yes, you're gonna lose trades. It's part of the game. Like everyone misses shots, but if that statistical edge is always in your favor every trade you take, in the long run, you're gonna be net green. You have to be able to stomach 10 losses in a row. Like that's why I tell you guys, try to size 12% or less. Even 12% is more aggressive than that. Statistically, per like what's his name? I can't remember his name off top. Dimps. I forgot his name. Jamie something, whatever. But long story short, one of the biggest hedge fund managers, he talks about that. Like you have to, the rule of probability. If you flip a coin, heads or tails, like it's 50-50, right? You shouldn't expect to get 10 heads in a row. You should get heads, tails, 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 heads. But you can see 10 heads in a row. As unlikely it is very possible you will get them. So not very possible, but it is possible. So you have to size the same way in trading in case you were to per se get 10 heads in a row, which, you don't really, or I don't go in terrible streaks like that where I lose 10 trades in a row or whatever, but you have to be able to take, hits on that. So when people are oversizing, risking half of your account, 25%, whatever, you open a window where you're like literally, you put the statistics against you. I'm telling you, as long as you guys keep the trades in total within 10% or less, in the long run, you're going to do really well. That's what I like. I'll look for that video and I'll send it.
The martingale system.
Martingale's cool too, but you want to be careful with it. I apply the martingale with the drawdown that I mentioned in the trade guidelines, like the drawdown 33%, 66, all that, the sizing. You can use it if you're using proper sizing, but martingale becomes dangerous when you're adding size, because martingale you continue to like double down. If I believe, I'm not doubling down, I'm using same size. The only thing is, if you buy one contract for, let's say, $500, it drops to 250. I can now buy two contracts for the same initial value of 500. I'm not gonna go and throw 1,000 on the next trade, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice little drops here. Let's see. But finally gave up that range, and those 0 DTs are pain if anybody took SPY.
Jesus Christ.
I might take some right here, not gonna lie. We're testing EQ. I might take a little bit right here. Those are paying.
Microsoft finally drained.
Let's go. Sheesh. Not gonna lie, I was like, bro, you really took 0 DTs on SPY, but alright, don't regret it no more. I'm telling you, bro, at these highs, that chop was getting ugly for me, but finally they pay here. An MSTR, let's see if we get under that 391.7.
Your boy out is spy.
You took it? You took it with me, gang? Hey, good shit, bro.
Hey,
Good shit, bro. I'm telling you, bro, if they get the breakdown, you guys remember the targets we discussed pre-market. We had it lower, boys. Maybe come down, test previous monthly open, and then push into EQ before Powell and then come down. So retest EQ on Powell and then don't know how they play it, but for now I do have lower targets if they manage to trigger below these lows. Good soup.
Perfect swan dive.
Feel like Gordon Ramsay right now, bro.
I don't regret nothing. I don't care how far it dropped. I'm good. I got
Nah, if we fall 1,000 points on Powell, you for sure gonna be mad, bro.
Hey, good school. Y'all good. Hey, we winning. I got no risk out.
Just heads up. I don't know how many cons you took, but if you can sell majority 75% or more for over 100% and leave runners, that's always gonna pay, bro. 100% of the time.
Always leave a runner. Always leave a runner.
If you can get risk free, leave a runner. If you're leaving risk on, no. And at the end of the day, money is money. I don't want to be like, oh, well, it's risk free. It's not my money. Like, no, it's still your money. You made it. It's yours. Take it. Don't want to just like, waste the money type say. But definitely, if you have the opportunity to leave runners, leave it. Why? Because later down the line, if we continue flushing the entire day, one, you're getting paid out without any out of pocket risk. And two, it relieves the feeling of FOMO. If you're in the move, even if it's in small size, like you still feel okay. You're not gonna feel like, oh, I missed it or I wasn't in or whatever. And it's super easy to manage. Like I said, anytime you're over 100% on a trade, sell over 75%, over 100% ROI, and you're always gonna come out green on the and then like it's impossible to lose. You could even do it with 50% of the contracts, but in my opinion, that's not really optimal, because if the runners go to a loss, you're gonna end up break even on the trade or small win or whatever. So 75% or higher is what I would trim on the partials. But let's see.
Runners are the ones that really flip your account.
Yeah, bro, literally one runner or two or whatever will, like, let's say you sell for 100% and then that runner does 1,000 or like 500, 700. That one runner is gonna pay probably what you made on the full size at 100% or whatever.
BTC flip 97. I love it. Come on.
Nice.
Some 430, and I'm eating good.
Ooh, I'm eating on Bitcoin. Look at MSTR test here. Like I said, if we do not lose 391.31, be careful. I still think they might do it, but just keep an eye on that. And then look at the previous monthly open here on SPX. If they get under that, that's where we're gonna have our next push lower. But also, you see the path we drew since pre-market. This is a potential bounce zone, which we just delivered. If you caught this 45-minute move, this is why I love trading the 45 minutes. I tell you guys, the 45-minute candles are beautiful. If you literally shorted on this 45 candle open, you got paid out. You could have shorted this 45, green this 45, short this 45. Like the 45s just trend super clean. But long story short, we're coming into that bottom zone. So again, this is an area we might bounce from the previous monthly open into EQ for a retest, and then maybe reshort there into Powell, or careful if we break out type scenario. But definitely this is somewhere you might want to trim puts if you took them. If we don't bounce, we're going straight to these targets. But this is a scenario here, so watch out if short. And we discussed all this pre-market. These are the levels we've had, so not the best action here with this little chop, but paid on that. So let's see.
Let's go. PJ boys counting them 1,000% week by week.
Bro, how many have you caught? I know you already caught at least one on LOY. I think LOY only, nah?
Yeah, that was my first 1,000%.
Oh, fuck it, fuck it.
Fucking God.
All right, see, we're getting the bounce right off that previous monthly open we discussed. So again, if you took profits on your puts, cool. We want to see a retest it to EQ, and then from there see if we head lower or break out back above EQ. But pretty interesting developments here. And again, it's still pretty early. It's barely 8 a.m. We still got 3 hours till Powell. AVGO trying to push back above 201.31.
But the fact that I had multiple Lily contracts, that was awesome.
Yeah. And you left runner, so that just makes it easy. Eventually, you gotta book runners though. Like you can't see 1,000% and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna wait till I see 2,000%." Like realistically, it's not gonna happen. You see a crazy run like 1,000, definitely want to take your profits at some point. So decent bounce here on SPY off those levels. Bounce on MSTR levels as well. As long as we remain below key levels and this is just a small retracement to the upside before heading lower, that's fine. But if we do start breaking out above key levels, then probably just gonna go ahead and call it overall on the sells until Powell.
And then feel free to explain the Fed injecting money. They injected some more.
Oh, from yesterday? What I was talking about yesterday?
Yeah, well today allegedly they went another 34 billion.
So
Yeah.
okay, just like to give you perspective, what's the market cap of Apple roughly, if you know?
I don't top of my head no.
Okay, whatever. So just to throw random numbers, around 3 trillion. If you look at Microsoft, around 3 trillion as well. If you look at Nvidia, around 3 trillion. I don't know the exact numbers because I haven't kept up with them, but they're around 3 trillion each, if not more. For sure more, if anything. You have a couple of trillion in total across all other stocks. Those are just, you know, the biggest names in the trading name. You have crypto, you have houses, you have bonds, you have so many other things. Like I said, just between those three names, you already have close to $10 trillion. Okay, that's not including every other name in the book, every house, every bond, everything else, right? How much did you say they inject?
34
34 34 what billion?
34.8 billion.
Okay, so in the reference of all the numbers I just told you, you think 34 billion is going to hold that trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars up?
Correct, it won't.
Before they were injecting trillions, 2020 they injected trillions into the economy. They're not injecting those trillions. They've been reducing. They're not injecting no more. You can see their balance sheets. The Fed has literally been dumping on everyone. This is public information. Like, go on the Fed balance sheets, the website I sent you yesterday. The M2 money supply has been coming down. They're not printing any more money, and they are reducing their balance sheets. What does that mean? What do you do when you reduce balance sheets? You sell stuff. They printed shitload of money in 2020. They bought all this shit through, you know, BlackRock, all these other institutions via they have programs. Like, look into all this. This is all public information. But like I said, right now you're not getting that. And I'm telling you, just to give you perspective, this is trillions and trillions. A couple billion is not going to do anything. It's like taking a cup of water out the ocean and saying like, oh damn, I'm emptying the ocean. Like, no, you're not. You're not making, you know, much of a dent. So maybe a bit of an exaggeration there, but just to give you an idea, it's not, you know, something to say, oh, injected this much, we're going to the moon. We just about got our targets here, so let's see if they bounce it. And if they don't bounce it, hey, I'll take it all the way as low as they want to say take us. But just be careful, they can bounce here. Back to EQ before heading lower, something like this. Let's see. And again, this is the previous monthly open here at 56.07. Netflix paying 2. Let's go. I almost didn't add to that. I wasn't, but I hadn't looked at the premium prices, honestly. I went on my broker, and when I saw the hit, I was like, oh yeah, I need to scale in on this one. MSTR testing lows here. So again, if any of these levels break below, like breakdown on MSTR, breakdown in SPX, breakdown from this base on Microsoft, anything, we're probably going to continue moving lower and get pretty paid on those sells. The one name not selling is Berkshire. My bad, Ginger. Ginger's like, yo, what? I should have just taken Spy. Nah, I'm just playing. You should be chilling, bro. You're literally into that top range right here. So as long as you stay below that, you should be okay. But let's see if Spy bounces from here like we discussed. Small bounce on Microsoft, small bounce on few names. Let's see.
Start heading out. Later, man.
Oh, bro, I thought you had already taken off. Catch you, fam. Stay up, bro. So let's see how high this bounce goes. Like I said, maybe EQ before lower. And then PM, nice little topping action here.
I got a couple PMs, just FYI. I got
If you added, that's clean.
I got three. Oh, one in the small account and two in the big one.
What did you load
160.
for June? Not gonna lie, that's a little far, bro. I'd prefer if you had something closer in the money so you could capture the intrinsic value, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's kind of far.
Yeah.
Big, big 20 on one. Yeah, both of them, all three of them, 620.
620s at 160?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have probably rolled up. If you want to add one, just so you have some upside, some exposure closer at the money, you can, just because I'm telling you those 160s. I'm not saying you can't get paid, but me personally, I rather have closer at the money strikes, because you need literally a $15 move before you get any intrinsic value on those. I'm not saying you can't capture premium. Look at Berkshire, bro. Perfect flip at the zone. I said that's crazy. But yeah, you want to capture the intrinsic value. You need a $15 drop before that happens on those 160s. I think you're better off grabbing, if you want time, grab time, but 170 if you have to, or do next week's at 172.5 or whatever the case may be. Just because I'm telling you, I think those are a little far, bro. Not saying you can't get paid, but just not something. Not that I don't like it. I prefer the other ones. That's all it is.
And you went May 30?
You can do next week's. Next week's are fine. Or if you want to grab more time, that's fine. All that you should do is get closer at the money. Whether you want to take next week's or June or any date after next week is fine. Either next week or later. But closer at the money.
I'm just gonna get one and one.
And I'm telling you, you don't have to, but that's what I would probably do, just because you're not going to get paid out much on those 160s, if I'm being honest with you. Nice. Let's see if we get the breaks below.
Seriously, May 9th?
No, not May 9th. Not May 9th. Don't take this week. Not liquid enough and you don't have enough time, don't risk it. If you want, actually no. Let me check.
No, I'm good. But it just
No, yeah, don't, bro. The spreads aren't great on that.
I was trying to cheat Netflix for $650. They said fuck you. That shit rose to 900.
Wait, what you're holding your puts or what are you talking about? Oh, to get in? Oh, you're trying to get in. All right, I get you.
Yeah, I was gonna add to it.
Look at the flip on Berkshire, perfect tag of the levels we discussed earlier. So Agenda, you should be getting some relief on those shorts here. Hopefully, we do get the breakdown like we said, and then into this 516, you're gonna have another test. So let's move this up here. Your next test is gonna be here into this 516. If we break below 516, you can see some nice continuation lower on Berkshire. But for now, the ideal target is gonna be here. Let's see if they manage to deliver.
Damn, I don't know, man. It's hard messing with the Roth account because you can't move the money that way.
Ooh. Yeah, I feel you. That's a nice little push there on Berkshire. Literally as I was covering it. Good suit. Netflix coming down. I'm so glad I added on that.
So BTC is in its brand new 3-hour candle, and it's just man, it's a beautiful sight on its way down if it can.
Let's see. Look at that push on Microsoft off 431. I just noticed Microsoft literally tagged 431 perfect and bounced. So I'm not a fan of that. Look at that. We literally came down right to the lows, tagged, swept liquidity, and pushed higher to the penny. No exaggeration. Like, to the penny. We filled the wick. And now we're heading higher. So things can get ugly here if you are short and SPY does break out from here above EQ. Like I said, if we come into EQ, then fade, that's great. But at any point, if they do start pushing back above EQ, I'd be very careful being short into Powell. I'll reassess closer to Powell, but from here on out, I'm telling you guys, if they get this breakout, they're gonna squeeze. Massive push here on Netflix. Sorry, on Microsoft. SPY still sitting at the lows, so let's see if SPY can give us a similar push to the upside like the one we just saw on Microsoft.
You still like Visa? I can get rid of that as a risk.
Let me see, I haven't looked at it today.
I'm only down 7%.
What are you holding? What date?
326.20.
Wait, what?
320 puts up to 620.
I'd hold that.
Awesome.
If you want to cut it because you have added risk on MSTR and other names, that's your decision to make which names you want to sit on. But my opinion, Visa is just a matter of time before you get that 333 delivered. And then below that, maybe you can see 320 or whatever. But you don't necessarily have to see 320. As long as you get a sizable drop in the next coming days or weeks, you should get paid on that before 620.
Okay. If we break 558, you're going to send out a SPX again?
What you mean?
For SPY?
Puts or what?
Yeah, 0DT.
I'm still riding my runners, boy.
Yeah, nah, above 7K?
I mean, if you want, but I probably wouldn't.
Because right now it's going
Why are you gonna chase SPX though? You have MSTR, you have Netflix, you have what else do you have? I know you have other stuff on your books. You don't have to take every single trade. If you want to, go for it. But you were literally short from the top and you took them off, and now you want to put them back on when they're more expensive than what you sold them for. Like, tell me that makes sense.
Makes no sense. All right, wait. Come on, MFTR Costco. Let's go to the moon, Costco.
Yeah, like it's cool, bro. But ideally, same concept as what I told you on PLTR yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was. You don't want to be shorting into the lows. Can we continue dropping? Sure, but it's ideally not the best thing to do. If you're sitting on your runners, it's a different scenario. And even then, you know, this is an ideal bounce area. Like I said, we can come retest EQ before heading back lower. Might not be the case, but definitely not an area I'd be interested in taking 0 DTs. Let's see what's up, bro. And then Berkshire just about delivered that target we said. We have maybe like $1 more downside, but just about delivered that. So I know Jinder was probably like, damn, bro, the one trade out of everything that isn't paying is what I take. But nah, Berkshire's starting to look a little better here. Visa, nice move lower here, so hopefully you get paid on that. AVGO, watch out. AVGO above 201.31. Are we gonna fade off these highs, or is this a breakout for real? What did I have before down here? Not Visa. I forgot what I was watching. Oh, MSTR. Oh, MSTR moment of truth breakdown. Let's see. Bruh, I hope. I'm gonna be so paid if Bitcoin sells for real. I'm gonna hold them shits till 70K. I don't care. I'm holding my sales on Bitcoin till 70K. If we had lower, we had lower, but I'm not gonna try to take partials till 70K.
Man, that one statement you do, what the hell would MicroStrategy do if he goes bankrupt? Man,
He's done this before, which is what makes me like how are people, like, respectfully, how are people so stupid? Like, it's like this guy literally did this once already, the same exact playbook, and people are like, hey, I know you, you're that guy that frauded everyone a couple years ago. Oh, you're trying to sell me something? What are you selling? I'll buy it. It's like, bro, what is wrong with you? Like, sure, it's going up, but look what you're buying into. Like, if you look at any of the financials, you look of the way the actual company operates, the way that they keep, like, it's grimy, bro. Like, in my opinion, it's a cash grab, which has been for him. He's been making, you know, a couple billion or whatever he's made, but at the end of the day, who's gonna eat the loss? Everyone who's owning the shares. They claim that they keep, you know, diluting with shares to get more cash to continue to buy more and more and more Bitcoin, which is like, okay, sure, to all the Bitcoin maxis in theory, this makes sense. It's like, okay, yeah, keep raising cash, buy more Bitcoin. Eventually Bitcoin goes to 1 million and MSTR is going to be the most expensive company in the world. Like, that's their literal theory. But it's like, okay, and what if Bitcoin doesn't go up? And now this guy has literally withdrawn billions and billions in funding, including to pay himself, you know, in the pockets of everyone else in the company. Who eats the loss? Everyone who invested into the company. And guess what? Bitcoin goes down. MSTR, I assume at 70K they get liquidated. I'm not certain. I have to check the actual numbers, but I would be more than sure. Not maybe more than sure. I don't want to like speak without, you know, facts, but I think around 70K they would take considerable hits on their books, where maybe consider even filing bankruptcy. Again, I need to check into the actual numbers of their balance sheets, but I think around 70K and lower, they face serious threat of, you know, potential bankruptcy, assuming Bitcoin continues heading lower. I don't know exactly how they process their liquidation processes. I don't know if they have thresholds where if Bitcoin falls below certain levels, we exit to, you know, reduce risk. I don't know. Again, I don't know how they operate, but if I had to guess, under 70K or at 70K, they're going to be under financial risk. So just be careful what you guys invest into.
got this nice right here. And,
AVGO out of hand? Not really. It's previous day high test here, so I still think it's viable for a potential sell. But we go back to the same comments from earlier. Berkshire is coming into the potential lows, so support versus breakdown, MSTR support versus breakdown on everything for the most part across the board. So it's going to be the same comments here: breakout versus fade. The only thing is you don't really want to short something into the lows like SPX, Berkshire, anything like that. The fact that AVGO is still at the highs, I think, makes an okay candidate for a short, but that's assuming everything else is going to continue lower, like breakdown on SPX, Berkshire, MSTR. So, to trade Bitcoin, yes, I do. It's on my Forex account, so I trade Bitcoin on my Forex broker. You can trade, Nasdaq there, US30, SPX. You could trade currencies, which is what I do a lot. GJ is one of my favorite pairs. You could trade gold, you could trade Bitcoin. So yeah, you could trade a few things on a Forex broker. If you have a futures account, I'm pretty sure you could also trade Bitcoin there. Just from what I've heard, the futures, in my opinion, you need way too much leverage. Sorry, not leverage. You need way too much margin to trade futures. They don't give you the best margin, in my opinion. So that's why I prefer trading Nasdaq on a Forex broker as opposed to futures themselves. But either or are fine. So if you have futures brokers, I know you could trade it there. But nah, as for AVGO, I like it. Maybe clean sales if we break down here across the board. We'll see. And then Microsoft pushing here too. So as long as we remain below EQ, I like it. The real level to watch is 434.36. If we remain below that, I want to see lower. But again, most of these names are at support, so be careful with these bounces as discussed. And again, this was drawn out pre-market, so it's not a matter of guessing. It's just trade your plan, and hopefully your plan pays. So this is the current plan. We either break down from these lows and get paid more effective immediately on those sells, or we retrace a little bit into EQ before heading lower. I'd prefer no retracement and we just get the straight payout here. But price action wise, the retracement is, normal. Finally, a red candle on PM. Let's see if PM breaks down. So I know you added on that. I don't know if you ended up rolling up, or not rolling up, but I don't know if you ended up adding higher strikes. If you did, that's going to pay you, hopefully.
Oh snap! I just noticed the Nasdaq
kind of hella red, a little bit, not about to red, but 0.32%. So
We'll
hopefully
see.
Nasdaq follows.
Well, I'm telling you right now, SPY has that same scenario from the morning. If they bounce to EQ, that's normal price action before heading lower. The only real problem is if we do start bouncing from here and don't stop at the EQ, they're gonna go for the breakout back to previous day highs. This is the real threat to someone who's short, not this. This is fine if we fade from there, but if they actually break out from there, that's the real threat.
All right, this is down. This is up, and Nasdaq's down, and Costco shows a red candle. Let's get it. Come on.
Let's see. PM starting to pay too. You ended up adding to higher strikes, you said, no?
Yeah.
That one should pay you pretty nice too. Oops. So there's that bounce off the area we mentioned. Let's see how high they take it. Like I said, EQ and retrace is perfect. Anything higher than EQ, I'm gonna be scared for myself as someone who is short, and you should be as well. If you took your profits and you were risk free, it's fine. Like SPX0 DTs, I took risk off. I have a runner, it's fine, not concerned. But I do have risk in other individual stock names where I still want to see lower prices today at some point. So just want to remain cautious. Again, above EQ, I might consider just taking more risk off. For the most part, individual names look better than SPY. So if we get this breakdown from here on Netflix, we should see lower. We had a bounce on MSTR. Berkshire also into these lows. But like I said, some individual names do look a little better than SPY itself. Like AVGO into these highs, I think might make a beautiful short today. This is one of the few names still near highs, so that can pay potentially.
You had to spend 100K in Costco yesterday. But...
Bro, you swear I only spent 500.
Oh man, no wonder.
Nice little payout on AVGO there. Jinder, did you ask? Cause you're in AVGO, yeah, right? You're in AVGO. Well, yeah, I'd assume. I doubt you care for a name if you're not in it. But yeah, I like AVGO here to the downside under 201.31, like discussed. Nice little breakdown on Netflix. Bro, Netflix, I swear, this one has so much meat on the bone. I need that. Let's hide the levels real quick. If we break below previous day high, we can go to Monday's low. Was this Monday's low? Yeah, this was Monday's low. So reach previous day high, maybe Monday's low. And then look at the real targets. Way lower. So let's see what we get on that. But any swings, if you loaded them here at these highs with time, you're gonna do really well, assuming we break down. These have a lot of potential. You can short something like SPY, that's fine too, but in my opinion, SPY is still, you know, into a retracement area from the highs, while Netflix is literally above highs and extended. So we'll see what we get, but pretty clean action so far.
They're drilling that fool about the tweet or the chat, the group chat that they were in about
Who?
military.
Who are you talking about?
Best that they speak They called his ass a buffoonery.
Bro, where are you watching this? CNN or something?
Nah, Bloomberg.
Oh, Bloomberg.
You know CNN fake news.
No, I'm just saying, bro. I don't watch none of that. That's why I'm like, I don't even know where they stream that. I watch levels, bro. Only thing I look out for is Trump tweets. No, I'm just playing. So again, these bottom ranges, not really something you ideally want to short. If you do want to short, like I said, I prefer taking something at the highs, PM, AVGO, etc. I prefer AVGO over PM if you're just gonna take one as a scalp here. But let's see if we get the breakdown. Let's go to 12. Might have to even hop to a 45 if we come down. We got 16 minutes left on the 45. So let's wait until we get a fresh 45-minute candle before any new trades, in my opinion. Let's see how this 45 closes. It'd be nasty if they literally drive it all the way down into previous state low and close the 45 down there. Not saying I think that'll happen, but technically viable on the 45. Look at MSTR pushing here. Berkshire about to trigger leg down if we get under 515.21. Bruh, I'm over this range already. Let's see which way they break it. I think lower, bruh. Let's see. I'm telling you guys, AVGO my bus if it pays today. Yeah, because you took that yesterday. This is a different, same trade thesis, but essentially this is a different trade. Yesterday's trade, you assume it was a loss. It was a sympathy trade for AMD ER. If it didn't hit, it didn't hit. You just assume it's a loss. So this would be a separate trade here. Like I said, same name, same thesis and everything, but you have to treat your entries as point A to point B. So point A was yesterday. At this point, you assume it's a loss. I'm not saying take it off, but this is a separate trade itself that you would manage individually. Not telling you to add, you're fine with whatever you have. I think you said you had 195s, so hey, don't add. If we really do melt and go down to 195, you'll be paid on that. If not, don't add any risk. But if you want to short closer at the money, someone who's not in it, this is viable here in my opinion. Nice little move here on Microsoft, still below sales levels. Let's see if we can see some continuation to the downside. Berkshire did bounce off that zone we discussed. So again, as long as all of these names are holding support and bouncing higher, it's going to be hard, obviously, if you're short. SPX, I'm fine. Like I said, any retracement into EQ, totally normal. You can maybe reshort there. But if we do start breaking above EQ, that's going to be my sign to exit on any short positions. Not all, I'll leave some, but I'm definitely taking some risk off just in case we do get the breakout. I don't take a hit on those. MSTR back above 395 here, by the way. The only name I do like the progress on at this specific moment is PM. PM just put in new fresh candle lows. Not on the day, but from these current highs. Yo, go take a look at Google. What just happened? What the hell? What is this? Ah, let's go on Google and search Google. What happened here?
Damn. Well, I just called out the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq short.
So I'm not sure what news came out on Google or what, but I really don't care. Levels probably set lower. Where are my Google drawings?
That is $10 left.
Look at my Google drawings. Literally have been tracking it and the breakdown from here, the upside targets to literally the penny and now down heavy. What happens if Netflix gives us a red candle like that? Or SPY? Or Microsoft? Or any big name? This is a massive 3-hour candle. Let's see if we have any upside gaps. Not really. I would say this looks clean to the downside.
Because they're supposed to be in some lawsuit or something like that.
I think all that type of news is just manipulation to move the market at any time it's convenient. But if any of the other mega caps make a move down, like the one Google did, that is massive. That's gonna move Qs and SPY and everything else in size.
JP gotta be taken. Come on, JP.
If you want to get in SPY gender, you can. It's not the best entry. If you would have shorted up here when I mentioned it, obviously a much better entry. If you want to do it, I probably wouldn't. You're better off waiting until EQ and trying to short there if we get there. But let's say you're like, hey, you know what? I don't want to wait. I want to take the sells. We're gonna mount right now. Whatever, your call. But I would definitely leave room to add. Meaning, if the total amount of money you want to risk is 500, maybe do 250 right now, and then if we squeeze higher into those targets, add the other 250. That's probably what I would do. But again, you're shorting into the lows, so it's not something I'd advise.
Bitcoin doing what is it?
You're better off shorting a semi, if I'm being honest with you. Are all semis at highs?
Damn. Oh, can you give me that page?
Yeah, if I'm being honest with you, you're better off shorting a semi. SPY's fine. That's fine. You're fine. Now that I think about it, SPY IV is probably half of what you're gonna spend on a semi. So you know what? If you want to take it, that's on you. But definitely just be mindful because you're shorting into the lows. It's okay, but you're probably gonna pay double whatever I paid. Let me check what my premiums are at. Oh, they're not terrible actually. I guess it's not terrible if you really want to. Premium is since we've been chopping so much, it decayed a bit. Contracts I'm only up like 50%. 50% is still a beautiful win. Like I'm telling you guys, don't like be ungrateful for your wins. 50% is still beautiful, but like I said, I had already de-risked earlier, so that's what I have left, and it's only up about 40-50%. So if you want to buy in, it's not terrible, but I'm telling you, just from right now, you're paying a premium above what I got in it.
So in the 3-hour for MSTR, if that green candle engulfs the red candle,
That would be your exit. So Whoops. Within this, we're fine. And you see how we're still, let's get rid of this.
Yeah, I see it.
We're still below. As long as we're below, that's fine. I like it. The minute we take out these highs and sweep above, you got to be careful because we're coming for this. And ideally, I'm telling you, I don't want that. You want to assume that, you know, we're putting in higher lows, sorry, lower highs, and lower lows. So low, lower low. So hopefully we come in and put in a new lower low. But again, that's assuming we're going to respect these highs. The minute they invalidate and break out above those highs, that's going to be your invalidation or your exit on that trade. For now, the level to watch is the same level we've been watching. So it's going to be this 394.50, let's say. Let's move this over to the left. And look at SPY. Just by waiting a few minutes, you're already saving some premium on that. So I'm telling you, up to you if you do or don't want to take it. But the closer to EQ, probably the better. And even at EQ, you're assuming we're going to revert back lower from there, which we may not. So we can go straight up. So better area to enter here if you still want to, closer into EQ. But like I said, if we do break out from there, you might just want to go ahead and reconsider the sells at that point, at least intraday before Powell. Closer into Powell, maybe we'll discuss sells again, but from here until Powell, if you are short and we squeeze above EQ, you want to be very careful because if they go back and target the high of the day, you're going to take a big hit. So just be ready for that. So EQ and fade or take your sells off across the board. Gender, yes and no. So you have a lot of different trades so far from what I'm hearing. You've picked up this and that and a couple other names. That's fine. The only thing is you have FOMC today, which is going to definitely move the markets up or down. Can't tell you. If you have a lot of risk, you know, whether it's obviously shorter dated is going to take the biggest hit. But even the 620s, if we have a big percentage move to the upside, you're going to take a hit as well. So just be mindful. Just because you're grabbing a lot of time doesn't mean you can't necessarily take a hit. So just with that, you know, in thought, maybe try grabbing something shorter for a small risk. Because I'm pretty sure if you grab 620s, you're going to spend a bit of money, which is fine. I like it for a trade. But like I said, if we do break out from here on FOMC, let's say you spend $1,000 or 500 or whatever you spend, and you take a 30% hit, you're going to end up losing, you know, substantial amount of money. If you do something that is a lot cheaper, even if you take a 50% hit or 75% on bad, if we do gap up or whatever, you're at least not losing as much dollar amount. So going into FOMC, I think that's a binary event. You know, I've traded many FOMCs. I can tell you, I've been surprised myself before. As well, good as I think I am of a trader, you can have your trade plan, you can have your levels, you could have premiums calculated, stops, etc. Like, trust me, FOMC will find a way to fuck you. Like, it not all the time. I've had really good FOMCs as well, but I've seen some days where it's just literally catches you by total surprise. So whether it's a melt up or a huge drop, I obviously can't tell you. So those are 50-50 odds in my opinion, to be honest with you, which is why I'm saying 620 is fine. Just be mindful how much dollar amount capital you're actually allocating to your trades and spending. Because if you do take a 30% hit per se, obviously it's going to be more money than if you took a cheaper, shorter dated contract. So just have that in mind. If you're okay with those odds and that risk and you want to take SPY, it's decent. Not the best trade in the world in my opinion, but it's decent for sure. Yeah, if you want to do 516, I'm cool with that. And then, like I said, worst case scenario, we gap up on FOMC to my higher targets of 575 to the uppermost range of 587. If it happens, like I said, I cannot guarantee you we get there. So don't say, oh, I'm gonna wait to short to those levels, because they're not guaranteed. But if you do short here and we happen to break out to those levels, then you can definitely reshort at those levels for, you know, a bang for your buck. AVGO, small flip here. Berkshire, I want to see if it can come back and lose these lows. Nice flip on MSTR back below 395. Flip on SPX right off EQ. So far, going right according to plan. So this was the original path we drew, right? The drop, the bounce, and then the continuation of the drop. And then these yellow arrows are the ones we just mentioned earlier. Hey, we're probably going to come here before lower. So if you faded into that EQ here like we discussed, you're doing okay, assuming we're going to continue lower from here. And you guys are watching this in real time as I, you know, discuss my ideas. Pre-market, this is the plan, this is the path, this is what I'm taking and trading. Executions in real time when I mentioned shorting up here. You know, mentioning shorting, taking off your sells into these lows. Now re-shorting back into EQ. So far, literally going according to plan. All we need is new lows, and we're going to get paid out pretty nicely on the sells across the board. The only problem is, like I said, FOMC has many surprises, so just beware. If we get you know, mega green candle to the upside, sells will be obviously, we'll take a hit on that. But we got 2 hours till Powell, so any break below the lows, we can see some nice continuation for the next 2 hours before FOMC. That was literally like a perfect call out from not telling you. First I said don't short here at the open, literally came back up to the highs, mentioned shorting here at the highs, and now I don't know, let's see. I'm telling you guys, if we lose this previous monthly open, things get interesting. And you guys already saw what Google did. So if the rest of the names do this, first things first, we got point of control. If we lose the previous monthly open, which we are currently testing, if we come down, so we came down here, came to retest EQ. Now we're going to head towards point of control, hopefully, if we lose these levels. If point of control is lost, that opens the door to 54.34. That would be a massive payout on 0DTs. So if anyone's holding any runners from the 0DT entries we took up here, you might make a shitload of money today if we really crash. Excuse my French. Let's see.
Boo, Costco, come home.
I didn't re-answer because I'm still holding on to my runners, but that would have been a beautiful entry or an ad for anyone who was in that. Premiums aren't moving that much. They're super juiced, if I'm being honest with you guys. 0DTs are pretty expensive. Nice move on MSTR. I still want to see lower on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not low enough. So testing previous monthly open here on SPY. Let's see. Moment of truth. Microsoft testing previous. No, my bad. I thought this was previous day low. This is my line. Let's zoom out. No, previous day low is way lower. MSTR testing lows? Not yet. I'm telling you, if MSTR gives you under 391.15, that's your payday to 387, maybe even lower. I don't really care for MSTR. Like, yeah, it's cool, but I'm telling you, my size is on Bitcoin. Even gold looks clean. If gold breaks down here, that one's gonna move too. AVGO breakdown below 201.31. Let's see. It's gonna be a interesting development here. Clean balance off that previous monthly open on SPY. So like I said earlier, EQ is fine. Anything above EQ is not. So if you are short, were short, wanted to get short, etc., be careful if that's still your, bias above EQ. Why do I say that? Because they can potentially come up here. So just be mindful if you are short from these lows and we start pushing above EQ, there's this upside scenario. As long as we remain below EQ, which I'll draw a box right here. Matter of fact, I'll bring this down. As long as we remain below this box, I like my sells, but the minute we get above that, that's probably going to be your sign to exit. So this is why I don't really like shorting at the lows. You want to assume that this is going to be support until, we get confirmation below levels. Nah, my bad. I'm muted, guys. I was taking a quick break, eating a little bit because I haven't really grabbed much. Yeah, I'm still here. Same comments. That's why I've kind of been quiet. Same things kind of going on. Tag the EQ here on SPY. So like I said, as long as below EQ, I want to see lower prices. If they do manage to break above EQ, different story. But for now, I'm gonna continue to just watch the sales. But yeah, I'm just muted here, guys, because I'm eating. But I'm here. If you got questions, let me know. I'm just about done eating, but I'm still eating, guys. But if anyone took the AVGO or is watching it, I still think that trade has potential. Like I said, AVGO is trading, excuse me, at the highs, while SPX has already came down a bit intraday. So assuming we are going to continue to come down, like I planned pre-market, the thesis would be that AVGO looks clean here for some sells. But if SPX does break out above EQ here, like mentioned, then the sales thesis across the board, whether you're on Netflix, Berkshire, SPX, etc., are probably gonna be null. So let's see what happens next few minutes. But definitely de-risk on the sell side above EQ here if we stay above and break above. So nice little flip here off that EQ. Want to see continuation down and new lows on the day. That would be amazing. Other than that, like I said, comments remain above EQ. Don't be short. And then if we get the breakdown below the lows, we'll see continuation lower. Other than that, not much I do in this range until FOMC. Decent pullbacks here, but again, I don't get sales confirmation until we put in new lows. So nothing to be too excited about if short. We want to see new lows on the day for continuation lower to those downside targets we discussed. so Bitcoin breaking down here. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get something similar on MSTR soon, but I'm pretty paid on those Bitcoin sells that I initiated yesterday. So let's see if we can continue to drop here.
All right, took advantage of the volatility trade on SPX, cashed out 500. That's gonna be a band-aid to my MicroStrategy. Good shit.
You say you did what?
Caught some stop at that point when it said turnaround SPX.
Oh, you
And
you scalped the puts.
yeah, and I caught that. So it's cashed out 500 prior to this little uprise. So that's gonna be the band-aid to my MicroStrategy if I did lose.
Fuck it, fuck it. Let's see. Bitcoin looks good here, not gonna lie. Want to see some continuation lower, but it does look good.
I wouldn't I wouldn't be surprised if all of this were gonna hold overnight, man. Honestly, even Netflix.
We'll see.
Because the FOMC is like really pushing the hour, literally 1 hour prior to closing. So we might see
Well,
other.
I've seen some pretty big moves into close on FOMC, not gonna lie. Not betting on it with size, nothing that expires today, but we'll see. Definitely have I don't know. I feel like today might be a surprise. Maybe they just dud it, and take premiums, but I think they can definitely move things. Which way we're gonna find out, but ranges are pretty tight here. We have 2 hours, hour and a half till the release, and 2 hours until the conference. So I would refrain from doing too much here. If you already have trades, you're probably gonna get chopped up until then. But let's see what happens. If we do get a breakdown below FOMC, that would be interesting. And then above EQ, like I said, I probably wouldn't be short. I would probably pass on these, but like I said, if they get above that 786, which is the EQ zone we've been watching, they can squeeze. Again, I'm not taking calls, and I probably wouldn't take calls. If you guys are bullish, you know, I'm no one to tell you guys, hey, no, we're not going higher. If you personally yourself as a trader, you're looking at the charts, you see bullish harmonics, you want to take the bullish setups, which are viable, you know, go for it. I'm never going to tell someone not to take a setup they like. So if you yourself like the bullish setup and you want to go long on a breakout above EQ, that's a viable trade. Again, I'm not taking it, but that doesn't mean you guys can't if you like the trade. Just you know, manage your risk, and it's viable.